there was a story I told last week that I kind of left everybody hanging. And when I watched it back, I go, oh, I didn't give the whole story. And that was the custody battle with my brother's daughter, my niece. And people were like, well, so you just put her into foster care? So let me just give the full story about it. So what happened was, God, that sounded weird when everybody says what happened was. So here's the whole timeline of it. So my brother passes away. And I don't realize there's a custody battle. I do know that my niece is staying with my mom and my stepdad a lot. And the mom just wasn't stable enough to give her what she needed, basically. And to my mom's credit, she was trying to step up and do the right thing. And this guardian ad litem, when she called me and said, we're recommending an emergency removal, and like I said, my ex went to the store, got a car seat. We basically was prepping our house for a 2-year-old to move in, and we couldn't say anything. Well, what happened is the judge denied the emergency removal. So she never went into foster care. I know people thought she went into foster. No, the judge denied. The judge said, when they submitted the paperwork, the judge said, look, I understand these aren't the best living conditions, but she's not in any physical harm. She's not getting malnourished. There's none of that. So even though it's not ideal, this doesn't qualify for an emergency removal. So when that happened, I was like, oh, okay. But the reason everyone got mad at me is because there was paperwork that I had to sign that I would take her if the emergency removal went through, but I couldn't tell nobody. So now my mom sees this. She sees my name, and she's like, well, what's going on? And I softballed it. I didn't say, like, they don't think you're a fit mother or anything like that. I beat around the bush with it when I was talking to her. And then finally, when I'm talking to the girl in the court, I'm talking to other people, the guardian ad litem, and they were just telling me, my niece didn't really have the greatest shot with either the baby mama or my mom and stepdad. And the reason is, my mom and stepdad, they had a blind eye. My one brother passed of a drug overdose, but my other brother was dealing and using and stealing and stuff like that. And so my mom's choosing to turn a blind eye to it. Like, I'd always ask her, like, where do you think he's getting his money from? She goes, I don't know. I'd be like, Mom, you know. You act like you don't want to, but you know where he's getting money. And then, so I talked to my ex, and I go, do you want to try to get custody of her? And that's what she was like, yeah. So here's what we did. We sat down with the baby mama first, and we said, look, we think we can give her a better life. We can get her to private school. We can get her into therapy. Everything. And to the baby's mama's credit, she was like, yeah, I'm okay with that. And we even told her, we was like, we told her, you can't come over our house because this has to be a place where she can decompress and is peaceful. We can't have chaos within the house. And right now you're just not there. And that's hard to say when you're trying to take somebody's daughter and say, hey, you can't come over though. We'll meet you and she can see you. But right now, just get yourself together, and we got her and she's safe. And it took a lot, but she agreed. So now we had to talk to my mom and my stepdad. And keep in mind, we don't know where my niece is going yet. So we talked to my stepdad about it, and I don't know. He was indifferent. And then we talked to my mom. And my mom, like I said, the first words out of her mouth when I said, we'd like to get custody is, are you trying to take her from us? Are you trying to change her last name? And I said, no, we want to give her a better life. And then my mom was like, well, let me think about it. So my mom called me on Monday. I think I asked her on a Thursday or Friday, and she goes, I can't do it. I can't let her go. And I said, Mom, you're in your 60s. This is a 2-year-old. You want to be dealing with a teenager in your 70s? And then I said, it's just, you can come see her whenever you want. We can come bring her to you. And it just got ugly, and it didn't have to be. And my mom thought I was just trying to do, I don't know what she thought I was trying to do. I really was just trying to give my niece a better life. And it just got ugly. And then I just went, I was trying to tell my mom, like, da-da-da. And then my brother got involved. And then I was just like, I told her, like, I don't want him to know where we live. Because here's the thing. When you're in the drug game, like he was, it was like you don't know when somebody's going to retaliate and try to get back at him. Like, I don't need to get into all the details, but he was ripping people off and robbing people. And I was just like, I can't have him around. And she was more like, well, if you can't, they always go back to family. If you can't have family around, then you ain't part of the family. And then it just got, I could get into detail. It just got super ugly. And I just went, I finally was talking to my ex. I'll never forget, I was on a plane. I was at the airport getting ready to board a plane. And I called her and I said, we got to back up. We got to fall back on this. I said, if we take her in and we get custody, I said, it's going to be so chaotic and they're going to be coming for us and they're going to fill her brain with your, Gary and Kenya took you from us. We wanted you. And it was just, it's hard for me to get into it where everything that happened, but she didn't go into foster care. And long story short, what ended up happening to my niece is my mom and stepdad got temporary custody. My brother got busted with drugs. It was in our small area. It was a huge arrest. He got busted with just a lot of drugs on him and money and everything else. So he was living at home. So then my niece got taken away from my mom and stepdad, and she went to her mother for a little bit, and they got taken from her, and she ended up with, on her mother's side, the baby mom, she ended up with her aunt when it was all said and done.